Successful individuals often engage in actions that those less fortunate tend to avoid. Everyone's life is shaped by their habits. Some habits influence their daily existence directly, while others impact their professional and financial success. Many people overlook the detrimental financial practices that consistently undermine their chances of prosperity. I am convinced that it's possible to eliminate poor financial habits and replace them with beneficial ones. This is the key to increasing your financial resources. If you're interested in learning more, keep watching this video. This is your leading channel for finance and wealth mindset. Hit the subscribe button now and join the ranks of future millionaires. I lead a rather humble lifestyle. I still reside in a house that cost me $25,000 back in 1957. I opt for regular transportation over private jets, and I prefer playing bridge to billiard. This intriguing blend of great wealth and simple living captivates people worldwide. I charted my own course, and no one disturbed me at 5 or 6 in the morning. Additionally, I've always had a passion for reading. My aunt gifted me the World Almanac, which I still cherish, and I read my first book on investing in my father's office. To this day, I spend between 5 and 6 hours each day immersed in reading. Throughout the business downturn in the latter half of the 20th century, I diligently monitored market trends and provided valuable advice to guide others toward wealth. Timing is crucial when it comes to financial success. Intelligence alone isn't enough. Patience is key. I want to emphasize the financial habits that I practice regularly. Adopting a positive habit can become the cornerstone of your success, even if your finances are currently limited. Wise spending might seem insignificant at first, but statistics reveal that over 65% of people don't manage their money effectively. I've mentioned several times that people tend to think about where to spend the money they haven't yet earned. In this sense, I suggest evaluating future purchases not in money, but in the number of hours you spend earning that money. Ask yourself how many hours per month you work and how much money you make from it. Calculate the value of an hour of work and compare it to the price of what you want to acquire. If you earn $10,000 but want to buy a new Tesla for at least $300,000, question if it's worth it before you start saving for it. It's crucial to remember that I encourage people to plan all their income and expenses, regardless of how much they earn or spend. The challenge with $1 million is that it is a considerable amount. You need to monitor it, or it will disappear, and you won't even know where it went. Second habit, make your money work for you. Instead of putting a little extra money in a piggy bank, it's essential to understand how the investment mechanism works. If you only save your money, it will decrease as inflation reduces its purchasing power. To avoid this, at least transfer the money to a savings account with interest rates higher than inflation. However, this is not enough. To make money, you need to invest it. However, to achieve this, it's essential to consider different investment options and learn how to avoid losses. Saving doesn't necessarily mean investing your money in stocks. Start today by understanding the investment mechanism itself. I emphasize this. Regularly set aside time to read books on the subject, keep up with the news. Every day, instead of scrolling through Facebook or Instagram in the morning, set aside 10 to 20 minutes for some useful reading and analyze what is happening with stocks. It's true that the return on stocks of US tech giants like Facebook and Google is 30% per year. Isn't it great that social networks can not only consume your time but also provide a lot of information? Before continuing, I'd like to ask you to support this video and give it a thumbs up. After all, your engagement can help more people access this useful financial information. Habit number 3 is to work in unusual conditions. This advice may seem quite strange coming from me, though I am an avid observer of global market trends, often sitting in a McDonald's rather than my office chair. I've always associated money with big problems that need to be solved. And to do so, you need to be able to see things from a different angle. A great confirmation of this is the story related to Albert Einstein. In 1905, Einstein published 4 scientific papers that changed the foundations of modern physics and our understanding of space, time, and matter. Interestingly, he didn't write them in a physics lab or his office, but in the Swiss Patent Office. Working in such an environment allowed him not to be fixated on laboratory methods. If you read what everyone reads, you will think like everyone else. And if you think like everyone else, you won't be able to bring anything new or unique. Be curious, seek out rare sources, study what no one else has studied. This will be truly valuable to others. I am known for my simple yet profound financial wisdom. I believe that people generally spend their money on completely unnecessary things, thereby blocking their path to success. To correct these common financial mistakes, you can change drastically and become wealthy. First, many neglect personal development. I believe that the best investment you can make today is to invest in yourself. Improving your skills and obtaining a quality education can significantly increase your income. While some seek knowledgeable individuals, they often don't have time to educate themselves. They look for someone who already knows what to do and are willing to pay well for it. If you want to be self-sufficient, competence in business and processes will never be excessive. When creating your own business, your knowledge and skills are assets that no one can take away from you. Try to acquire as much as you can. The use of credit cards is the second mistake many make. Although credit cards can be convenient and useful, especially when you want to buy something and don't have sufficient funds, the interest rates on credit cards outweigh any benefit if you forget to pay your debts on time. Sit down and calculate how much you can spend in a year to pay off all your credit card debts. I recommend cutting this part of your expenses first. You will stop spending more than you earn and save a good amount of money, which can be allocated to your education, for instance. Frequenting bars and restaurants regularly is one of the most detrimental habits. If you are determined to get rich, you should avoid these luxuries, especially when you are on the path to financial freedom. We are all human, and socializing is important for our emotional well-being. But giving up these luxuries can significantly benefit your finances. Unused gym memberships are another example of unnecessary spending. Did you know that statistically, 80% of people who buy a gym membership end up not using it? Gyms often offer attractive promotions for annual or semi-annual memberships, but most people end up quitting. While it may seem like a savings to buy a cheap membership, you actually lose money if you don't use it. I encourage an active lifestyle. Be cautious of this type of expense. You bought an annual membership and stopped going. Try exercising for free at home or outdoors. Or consider a monthly membership that motivates you to go to the gym that month. Another common financial mistake is subscribing to services you don't use. Regularly check and control what services you are subscribed to. Often these services offer free trials and require your credit card information, automatically charging you at the end of the trial period. Cancel automatic renewals right after activating the free trial and set reminders to disable the renewal before the period ends. Financial mistakes like these are the downfall of many people, so pay close attention. Before that, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to achieve financial success, that thumbs up will be the first step. A common mistake is gambling, as it may seem like a quick way to increase your wealth, but it's crucial to understand the odds in gambling. I encourage people to make financial decisions that benefit their lives in the long term, rather than seeking quick riches. Many people have ruined themselves with this mentality. It's important to know when to stop, even if you are winning. I also want to mention smoking, as a simple calculation can reveal how much money is spent on cigarettes. I am known as one of the greatest investors of all time, which means I know how to multiply my capital. Besides giving practical financial advice, I emphasize the importance of developing essential human qualities for those who truly want to be rich. Once, speaking to students, I said, from each paycheck, save and use programs that show the percentage of your monthly expenses in different categories. Never lose money. This is rule number 1. Never lose money. Rule number 2. Never forget rule number 1. This may seem like a trivial piece of advice since no one thinks losing money is a good idea. However, it is extremely wise and practical advice. To achieve success and happiness, avoid unnecessary risks. Never jeopardize what you need for what you want. I personally adhere to this rule and have never engaged in risky investments. The true distinction between those who achieve success and those who do not is that successful people often say no to almost everything that doesn't align with their strategy. Another piece of advice: my company always maintains around $20 billion in cash, ready to be deployed when needed. This may seem unusual and contrary to the financial principle of investing money rather than keeping it idle. However, this practice saved my company during the 2008 financial crisis. Money is as vital to a company as oxygen is to the body. You don't think about it when you have it, but when it's absent, it becomes the main concern. Having cash on hand is more reliable than relying on checks. This rule is especially important for those with irregular income. Debts, credit cards, loans, and mortgages can lead to a situation where expenses exceed income and there's no money left. I've seen many people fail due to alcohol, but many also fail because of an excessive desire to spend. If you are smart, you can accumulate wealth without relying on credit. Pay close attention to small expenses. Always focus on them and trust only frugal individuals. An example that made me consider the value of saving on small expenses occurred in China. There, my friend Bill Gates and I went to a McDonald's for coffee. I insisted on paying, and to everyone's surprise, I used some discount coupons from the United States to save on the meal. Think in terms of decades, not months. Most people make the mistake of focusing too much on immediate gains. Avoid seeking quick profits. Successful investing requires time, discipline, and patience. No matter how talented or hardworking you are, some things take time. You cannot have a baby in a month by employing 9 women. Plan for the long term, gradually accumulating for your children's education or retirement. Read everything you can about finance. Go to bed smarter than when you woke up. Much of my work as an investor involves minimizing risk and cutting costs. For an ordinary person, not a financial expert, the real measure of risk is when you are unaware of what you are doing. The more you learn about money and its rules, the better you'll be at managing it and making the most of it. Money isn't everything. Some material possessions can make life more enjoyable, but having too many can have the opposite effect. I wouldn't give up my plane, but having multiple houses could become problematic. Often, having too many possessions can end up controlling the owner. Therefore, it's crucial not to overlook equally important values like health. Without it, success becomes unattainable. Friends are also vital. I consider my friends as the second most valuable aspect of life, right after health. Be bold. In 1951, when I was under 20, I made the decision to travel by train to Washington, D.C. and knocked on the door of the insurance company where Benjamin Graham, my future mentor, worked. This unexpected visit led Graham to give me a 4-hour lecture on the insurance industry. He became a consultant for Geico, and I stayed connected with the company for many years. Today, Berkshire Hathaway, my company, owns Geico, and the insurance interests of Berkshire are one of the company's greatest achievements. If I hadn't had the courage to show up at Geico 72 years ago, none of this would have happened. Boldness has its rewards. Make tough decisions. Initially, Berkshire Hathaway was heavily involved in textile mills, a sector I supported for many years. In 1985, I made the difficult decision to sell these mills, as the business was no longer profitable. It was a hard choice, but essential for future success. Sometimes, it's more advantageous to forgo luxurious expenses and invest in a retirement fund. The path to financial success often requires sacrifices and strategic choices. Before going to bed, almost everyone facing financial challenges neglects this advice. Plan your evenings. Create a list of the most important tasks for the following day to achieve success. Review what you accomplished during the day, draw conclusions, and adjust your plan as needed. By noting your tasks, you'll have a ready-made plan to follow in the morning. With solid planning, success will become an inevitable outcome. This is your primary channel for finance and wealth mindset. Subscribe now and get ready to enrich yourself inevitably.